application when you use it normally. Remember this, when you write an application, check yourself for the error log as a developer. If you already see errors inside this log when there is a normal user using it, it means you made a mistake. Please fix it before we come. There will be less noise like this on the log file. The way an application should log is very simple. Now you won't have to pay attention to it. The framework will take care of you, will take care of it for you. It's very simple. To the sysadmin, to the server side, you're supposed to log everything in detail so that, and I mean detail, most of them always forget the IP address or the user who did it. How can I take action? I need all this information. So you log in detail on server side, and of course to the client, you tell him nothing. You just tell him, sorry dude, try again later. And if the guy keep on getting this message, of course he will call your organization and find out what's wrong, and then you can look into it. But you don't want to tell your user, there was an SQL problem right here. In which case, of course, the attacker will be delighted to have all this information, and he will just attack the hell out of you. So the problem of this framework is very simple. The bottom line is still the developer. So I'm telling you, if your developers don't know how to develop, there is nothing we can do for you. This framework will help, but if you choose to bypass it or if you choose to use it poorly, then there's so much we can do to help you. This is really designed to be at that kind of level, very low, so that anybody could use it. The problem is if the level is not even there, it's below, then there's nothing I can do. You'd be surprised how many developers are right there. Of course, the developer will have to use it willingly. After this, you always have the problem with the developer who say, I don't want to use the framework, it's boring, I don't want to use it. And they're very moody people, developers. I used to be, so again, trust me on that one. So if they don't want to use it, then there's nothing you can do for it. There's nothing I can do. Of course, this is a trivial one, but if your application wasn't written using this framework, then this framework can't help. Then you will only be left with the network application prevention system, which, as I told you, is too generic and can't find no attack. Of course, the applications still have to be written more or less properly if they are not even working in the first place. Like half of the banking applications out there. Banking applications out there are not working, by the way, most of the time. Even though they go through a quality assessment round of 2 months, we still find regular bugs. As far as I'm concerned, a security bug, security flaw is a bug, nothing more. So they should be fixed, full stop. Another problem of this framework is, of course, flash forms. We cannot record the form on the way out, so on the way back we can't verify. So we could still prevent other kind of attacks, but half of them we wouldn't be able to prevent. We have a problem as well with remoting all the JSON RPC, AJAX, all the Web.2, like people 2.0, like people call it now. And of course, whichever protocol that are not even HTTP based. Of course, the framework could be done in a modular manner, modular enough that it would care for those protocols. But this is the future. Of course, the framework would have to integrate nicely within the standards. So on Java, you already have loads and loads and loads of frameworks. Don't ask me which one is better. To me, all of them have advantages and inconvenience. And again, I don't develop a web application. It's so boring to write. I prefer to break them. It's a lot more fun and faster. .NET, you already have something in there, but it definitely needs to be enhanced. It's very limited right now, the .NET validator mechanism. Of course, if you're not using either .NET or J2E, I think you're making a mistake. You should use one of those two. But if you're not, you would have to do the integration yourself. We're not going to do it for you. Not at this stage, at least. I wouldn't say that this is a caveat. I made a mistake when I did the slides. This is mostly an advantage, at least of the application-based or host-based application intrusion prevention system, is that it will have very few false alarms. This is mostly true for the false alarms is mostly true for the network-based one. Like I said, because we are generic, we will have false alarm. There will be some normal usage that look a bit dodgy but are not, and we will flag them as attacks. On the other hand, for the application-based one, the framework one, this one is pretty straightforward. It depends how well are the constraints defined by the application developer. Again, if the application developer did not define the constraints properly, it becomes your problem as the user, as the guy who ordered this application. When you order an application, make sure you give them detail of exactly how you want it. If you don't, they will do the strict minimum. And any enhancement that you want, they will charge you for it, of course. This is business. If you get false alarms with either the network-based AIPS or the host-based one, you would have to tune the scoring system properly. Let's say you have a lot of people with massive family names, then you would have to tune the scoring system to put the maximum length higher, so that it doesn't trigger so often, and things like this. The main problem of this framework is that it's not implemented yet. The whole goal of those talks in the last 2 or 3 security conferences is to get volunteers. So I'll be available outside, people who are interested in it, hopefully people who can code. If you can't code, there is a lot of other things that can be done, like design, documentation and everything. But for coding, yeah, we will be strict. We have to. I can't be publicizing everywhere that application developers can develop if ourselves we can't. That wouldn't look good. So we will screen the development part. But at least there's everything else, all the design, everything. We need volunteers. Why do I need volunteers? Because this is not going to be commercial. This is going to be most probably, confirmed, it's going to be open source, so that both corporations, governments, everybody who writes serious application could potentially use it. Most probably it's going to be J2EE based, not .NET based. Unless Microsoft offer me a license and the other developers a license for .NET and Win2K7 2003 and the support and everything else that you need when you're on Microsoft. I'm not going to pay for that. So, and I don't pirate, so eventually it will be J2EE. Unless, again, Microsoft make a movement. So in conclusion, I'll finish a little bit in advance, so you guys can have a little session for questions, hopefully. Right now, there's a gaping hole in the security mechanisms that we have, whether they are preventive, detective, or corrective. Nobody take care of the application side. You have detective controls, corrective control, preventive controls in everything else, in physical security, network security, everything. But application right now, you're not doing it. Can't be blamed. I mean, the market is very, very young. People started to bother about application only 3 years ago or so. Network security has been there since 1999. Even before, but 1999 was really the peak where everybody got hacked using poor firewalls, going through poor firewalls. Now there's no such thing as a poor firewall. There's a poor firewall administrator. Oh yeah, there's a lot. But poor firewall is very rare. Now, but in the past, firewalls were so bad, you send them crafted packet and the firewall would die. No such thing. Because now it's magic. They test it before they release it. Before they did it. So, it's very young. It will take time before it's mature. Like I say, for example, this talk and other talks are, most of the time at the moment, are just talks. Some have demos and everything, but they're just demos. They are not finished products and everything. And once it's matured, it will take time to be robust. Firewall at the moment are robust. I use firewall because everybody knows what it is. Everybody has one. But it is robust already. Network security is really mature. You have a lot of professionals who know that stuff. Even on in-house, as in you have some network sysadmin who actually understand how a network works, roughly. I mean, roughly enough to secure it, which is not the case in application at the moment either. So I hope you understand that the method I just proposed is very simple. It's just about detecting outright attack patterns. They are simple ones, but combined together, they are really lethal. As in, we can catch advanced attackers as well as idiot ones. The problem is that it will not be easy to integrate. This framework that is not written yet will take quite a while to write. And when it's written, if it has to be integrated with other framework, it will take some time as well. So in a nutshell, yeah, it's not there yet. So don't be so happy, yeah, we can protect, not yet. But as I said, what you can do at this point of time is to grab some of these methods that you like, that are simple to implement for you. Just implement some of them right now, hard-code it in your application, and you will see the results. It's very interesting. You will catch application. Right now, you have no idea if people attack you or not. You're not looking at your logs. You have no idea. I'm sure people are knocking at the door all the time. To be honest, you have no idea when you get attacked successfully either. Banks know because the money go missing, and this they usually know. But other organizations have no idea that their applications are getting used to do stuff they're not supposed to do. So my last conclusion is bad in a way for people like me. It will make my job harder to do. Whatever I usually try is already written here. So it means whatever I usually try, the basic attack will not work. I will have to attack directly those hardcore ones. Unless, of course, because otherwise you will cut my account right away. And it's bad, but I would say it's good, is that all those crappy automated application assessment tools that already don't work today will work even less tomorrow with this framework. Why? It's because those automated application testing tools, they are just tools. They don't have any intelligence. They don't know that, for example, before you can perform transaction B, you have to do transaction A first. They don't know there is a flow. How could they know? They are just applications. Those, don't get me wrong, those automated application tools can be great when used by professionals, as in from professional application testers. Then yeah, they can use it to go faster and go more in depth. But that's all. So, but at least with this framework now, because all the automated tools do basically the simple attacks I've shown you earlier on, we can catch it very easily and stop them right away. But the best advantage of this is that there will be a natural selection of who can successfully attack and who cannot anymore. Right now it's pretty trivial to attack an application. Of course, a good attacker will perform more, but a Mickey Mouse attacker can already perform a little bit and be very happy about it. Soon he won't be able to perform anything. His account will get cut right away, and only the good one will survive. I'm all for natural selection in every job. So now we have about 3 minutes to be accurate. We want to be on time. We have 3 minutes for questions. I hope I didn't scare you too much. Yes?
Can you talk about J2EE?
Hello. Yes, you talk about .NET J2EE. Now, I'm concerned because what about the selection of OS?
.NET, J2EE run on every OS.
No, sorry, I think I have to rephrase that. Okay, let's say I do J2EE. Now, will my host 8 be different if I deploy it on Windows?
No, because it's application based. So let's say, imagine this framework, I write it for J2EE, it will run on any J2EE platform. Now imagine I write the tool for .NET, it will run on any .NET platform, which at the moment is only Microsoft. But it's basically, the host-based one will be written in the same framework that you're using if you want to integrate it like this. So there won't be issue with operating systems. So like I said, typically this one most probably will be implemented in J2EE, in which case it will run on any J2EE application servers. So it will run on Windows, Unix, Solaris, all those guys.
Will the weaknesses of the OS undermine your framework?
No, always. But there is nothing you can do with it. If the guy managed to attack through the network and, for example, shut down your application server, there's nothing my framework can do against this. I'm at a higher level. If the guy go low level and attack or patch the application server, there's nothing I can do. This can only stop application attacks.
Thank you.
Questions over there?
Are there any plans for web services and what are the overheads?
Web services, those are the remoting technology I mentioned earlier on. The problem we have with those is because there is not